In this video, we're going to go over this review assignment. You need to make sure you do this before you attempt assessment 1 because this review is very similar to the assessment and you only get one attempt at this. Okay, so in objective 1 is all about simplifying expressions, and then the second part is all about solving linear equations and inequalities. Sorry about that. So in the first one, I can simplify this following expression, and we're going to use PEMDAS to do this. Remember that P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, multiplication and division, and last but not least, we have addition and subtraction. Okay, so in number 1, we have 4 parentheses 2 plus 7 divided by 3 minus 1. And so inside the parentheses is step 1. So everything about this is going to stay the same except for what's inside the parentheses, because 2 plus 7 is 9. There is no exponents for us to deal with, so we can skip that step. And then the next thing would be 4 times 9 is 36, divided by 3 minus 1. Now we can do that division. 36 divided by 3 is 12, minus 1. Final answer is 11. Number 2, simplify the following expression. This is just another practice for like the question above. So again, we're going to do what's inside the parentheses first. So we're going to leave this as 2 plus 5 parentheses divided by 10. And inside that parentheses, the 3 minus 9 simplifies to be negative 6. Again, there's no exponents in this example. So we have 2 plus, now I get to multiply, because multiplication and division is on the same level, but working from left to right, I run into the multiplication first. So 3 times negative 6 is negative 30. Divided by that 10, we're going to have 2, and then negative 30 divided by 10 is negative 3. Finally, 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Okay. Now, 3 and 4 are all about evaluating expressions. So I give you some information that you need to plug in before we solve using PEMDAS, the order of operations. Okay. So I tell you that x equals 3. So wherever there's an x, we're going to put a 3 instead. Equals 3. Instead of the x, I want a 3. Everything else about this stays the same. Okay, I still have the 3 out front, that minus 2, parentheses, and the plus 4. The only things that changed were the x's. So first things first, we need to work on this parentheses right here. Instead of 3 plus 4, inside that parentheses can change into a 7. Okay. There are no exponents, so next we need to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 2 times 7 is 14. 9 minus 14 is negative 5. Okay. All right. Now, number 4, we're going to do the same thing. Evaluate the following expression given that x is negative 1 and y is 2. So everywhere we see an x, we're going to put a negative 1, and everywhere we see a y, we're going to put a 2. So I'm going to start my work over here. So we're going to say 3, parentheses on top. Instead of x, I want a negative 1 plus that 5. And on bottom I have 2 times y is 2 plus 2 equals 3 times, inside this parentheses right here, negative 1 plus 5 is 4. And on the bottom we have 2 times 2 is 4 plus 2. And that's going to equal 3 times 4 is 12 over 4 plus 2 is 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2 for our final answer. Number 5 and 6 are very similar. We're going to label the parts of the expression. So I want to be able to tell you what the variable terms are. I also need to know the coefficients. And I want to know what the constant is. Okay, the variable terms are the ones with the letters. So you see that this is an x and this also has an x. So my variable terms are 4x squared and 3x. And then more specifically, my coefficients are the numbers in front of the letters. So 4 and 3 are my coefficients. And then my constant is the number by itself, which in this case is 2. So same thing here in number 6. I want to see what the variable terms are. I want to know what the coefficients are and the constant. All right, the variable terms again are the ones with the letters, so the whole thing. So 2x cubed, 3x squared, and negative 4x are my variable terms. My coefficients are the numbers in front of the letters. So 2, 3, and negative 4 are my coefficients. And last but not least, that constant is the number by itself that does not have a letter attached to it, which is negative 10. Number 7 says write a simplified expression that is equivalent to this expression. So when you get to these, all this is we're going to combine like terms. Okay, so again, notice that it has to match perfectly. Like the x squared has to match with the 6x squared to make 10x squared. And then we have a 3x that matches with this 3x over here to make 6x. And then last, our constants can be combined together. Negative 4 plus 24 is positive 20. That's all you have to do there. So almost exactly like the one before it, this one wants another simplified expression, which again, we just need to combine like terms. But to begin to do this one, I need to distribute this negative. So this is going to equal 3x minus 5. Those signs don't change, but these inside the 2x squared plus 3 minus 4x are going to change. So I have negative 2x minus 3 plus 4x. Now I can combine like terms. Let's see. There's no other x squared, so it's going to stay negative 2x squared. And then I have 3x and 4x to make 7x. And then our constants, our numbers, negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Okay. Number 9, find a simplified expression for the perimeter of the rectangle below. Now remember that perimeter is all sides added together. So I have to have all sides of this triangle to be able to add the sides. But I know that if the top right here is 4x plus b, then the bottom is also 4x plus 8. Not b, I'm sorry. If the top is 4x plus 8, then I know the bottom is 4x plus 8 as well. Same thing here. If I know the right side is 2x plus 3, I also know the left side is 2x plus 3. Now I can write this out. Perimeter equals the top plus the right side plus the bottom plus the left side. Now all of that, all the x terms are going to be combined together because they match. We can combine them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12x. And then my numbers, 8 plus 3 plus 8 plus 3 is 22. And that is your final answer for the perimeter. All right, on to objective 2. I can solve linear equations. For these, remember that I would like for you to always draw your line down the sign. And right now, this 2x is being multiplied together to equal 6. So I want x to be by itself. So I need to divide by 2 on both sides. Once those cancel out, I have x equals 3 as my final answer. And then again here, 10x plus 2 equals 32. Let's get rid of this plus 2 first by subtracting 2 from both sides. 10x equals 30. And then again, I want the x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. X equals 3. So again, I get x equals 3 as my answer. Same thing for number 3. We're going to draw our line down through the sign, but this one I'm going to distribute the 4 first before we begin. So 4 times x gave me 4x. 4 times 6 is 24 minus the 11 equals 25. Now I'm going to combine my 24 with my 11 to get 13 to equal the 25. Now I can finally solve for that x by subtracting 13 on both sides. 4x equals 12. Divide by 4 on both sides. X equals 3. X equals 3 again. Number 4, notice that I have variables on both sides of my equation right now. I need to combine those before I begin. So 7x minus 2x is 5x plus the 3 equals 13. Now this looks like I can solve it. Subtract 3 from both sides. 5x equals 13 minus 3 is 10. Divide by 5 on both sides. X equals 2. Final answer for number 4, x equals 2. Now our last 3 questions have to do with solving inequalities, which is what you practiced yesterday. Again, I still want you to draw your line down your sign and get the x by itself. So instead of subtracting 7, I need to add 7 to both sides. X by itself is less than 10 plus 7 is 17. So x is less than 17 as a final answer. Remember, my sign doesn't switch until I multiply or divide by a negative number. Number 6, again, I'm going to draw my line. I want x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides to get 2x is greater than negative 2. Then divide by 2 on both sides to get x is greater than negative 1. Again, my sign does not change because I did not multiply or divide by a negative number. I divided by this positive 2. All right, last question. Draw my line. Here, I'm going to distribute the negative 2 first before I start. So negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times negative 6 gives me positive 12. Plus the 4 is less than or equal to 52. Now combine like terms. Negative 6x plus 16 is less than or equal to 52. Now I can solve for x by subtracting 16 from both sides. Negative 6x is less than or equal to 36. Divide by negative 6 to get x by itself. X is greater than or equal to negative 6. Notice that I went from a less than or equal to sign to a greater than or equal to sign because I divided by a negative 6 here. When you divide by a negative number, you should switch the sign.